guys, welcome back to Higher Level Real Estate. I am honored to be here with my newly formed PIC, Katie Frederick. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
I'm really happy for you to be here. You know, I know that you being here, you're from Reno, Nevada. This is something that was, what's the word that you used?
Serendipitous.
Serendipitous.
Yep, that's how I've described this whole thing.
Yeah. Totally unexpected. You know, I'm sitting there in the hotel, and we're about to go from Lake Tahoe and travel to the Reno airport and fly down to Vegas. And I get this email from, you know, one of our vendor partners. Hey, you know, I have this great person, but they're moving to Tampa. You know, their husband's getting relocated. They want to they want to partner up and join a team of, you know, X, Y, and Z with this sort of criteria. And, you know, they connected us that morning. It was, I don't know, like 10 a.m. And, you know, I'm sitting there like emailing back and sure as shit, you call me. Like, and I'm like, okay, good. This is where I was trying to go. And it just so happened I'm flying out that day. And I told you, hey, I can leave slightly early. You want to meet at the airport? And you're like, yep, let's do it.
Yeah. What are the chances that out of all the names they could have given me, they give me yours and you just happen to be in Reno the day that I get that info? I'm like, I have to meet him while he's here. This is too weird. And it's been great. Like I just have been trusting that process and it's been awesome. Yeah.
It has been a process. And, you know, you got down here, about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've come in and, you know, I've been very upfront about, you know, the respect that I have for your background and the value that you add to it, you know, and I hate to say asset because that kind of sounds like I'm taking the human part out of it, but, you know, it's a major value add, and you bring this level of experience into our group. And I described it to you earlier as, you know, we're on this rocket ship, and we can feel it. Every day I'm coming in, and I just feel like we're continuing on, and we are on this trajectory that just feels amazing, right? Yeah. And not just from a business growth standpoint, but like growing agents and helping more consumers, right? Buy and sell houses. But then you come in and I told you, I said, this is like having the boosters on the rocket ship. And, you know, typically I'm not a NASA expert, but typically when they get into space, the boosters break off. Like this is kind of the opposite. Like the boosters are on and like, I want them to stay on and like continue on this path. And I don't want to say we're trying to do it in a speedy way, but
going even farther than, pushing each other farther.
Yeah. And it's, I've learned just in this short time that, you know, that as many conversations as you and I have had, I feel like we play off of each other really well. You bring a level that I don't have, and then vice versa, right? It's just, and now I get to take that experience, and I don't want to say I was searching for it because we were on this rocket ship, but it just feels right, and it's serendipitous is the right word. I honestly, when you used it, I had to ask what that meant because I didn't take senior English in high school. I kind of joke about that a lot, but like I really didn't. So sometimes, you know, I'm sitting on the whiteboard in a meeting and I get to spelling and I'm like, I don't know how to continue, but whatever, I'm good at math. Like it works out, right?
Yeah.
So vocabulary, same thing.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to break down a couple things with you, right? Because I enjoy having these higher level conversations, you know, hence the podcast name, Higher Level Real Estate, right? And we really want to focus on having those conversations and gearing it both towards agents and consumers. And what a good person to have on the show, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, and we went to lunch earlier, and you know, we were breaking shit down like a shotgun, right? And on the way back, you asked me a really genuine question, and it was why. And it's a cliche question in our industry, and it happens. I hear it a lot. Like, what's your why? And you know, I used to kind of like, oh gosh, that again. But like, it evolves, right? You know, it's different now than what it used to be, and then I return the question to you, And I want to talk about that because it struck me like, okay, like, damn, we're on the same page a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like that similar mindset, not exactly the same all the time, or else that would be just weird, but very similar mindsets. Why do you do what you do?
Yeah. So I think just from the beginning to start, right? Like the beginning why has evolved. So at first, real estate just kind of fell into my lap. And I think life is all about opportunity and timing. I just luckily had an in. I'd never even thought about it, never crossed my mind. But once I got into real estate and I saw other people having a life that is like the life of my dreams, being your own boss, making good money, helping people, that was the first part of my why, is that I was just starting out, we had a young family, we had an unplanned pregnancy, right? All that stuff makes it really tough for you to get ahead. And my big thing was I wanted to change my life, and I wanted to never be in the position where we were in ever again. I wanted to be able to get ahead a lot quicker, and really financially, to be honest. I feel like when you're in that spot where you feel like you can't make ends meet and, the weight of the world is pushing you down, you can't get ahead, you feel trapped. And I felt very trapped and not in control of my own life. And I'm like, I am going to figure this out because I never want to feel like that again. And then that was also the motivating factor that pushed me even farther. Once I was okay, it's like, okay, well, I need to make sure I've got enough, and I've got enough processes and enough investments in my life that there's no way I could get back to that ever again. So it started as just survival, right? Like, I got to get out of this. I feel trapped. And then, once I got to that next level in real estate, right? It's like I was so grateful and so inspired and thankful that I worked hard and figured it out, that I'm like, wait, I just wanted to tell everybody. And I wanted to bring as many people with me as I could. And I know we kind of talked, like, I want that for everybody, but I felt a special connection to other women because, I think women in some scenarios are not always taught that, like, you're not a damsel in distress. You can save yourself. You can figure this out. You are just as smart and strong and capable as me, as the next person. So I was so inspired that I could accomplish something that I wanted to bring all these people with me. And now it is just to a point where I've seen how real estate can build wealth for me and for other people. And I just want everybody to be able to make money in real estate. Right? Once you figure out how to make money, you're like, why isn't everybody doing this? Right? Like, yeah. I want everybody to make money. I have a golden ticket and I know how to do it. Like, I want that for everybody. So I feel like that's kind of where I'm at now with my why.
Is helping others achieve what you were able to.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You almost, the feeling that I get is that you're talking as if it was easy for you. Right. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but for some, it just becomes easy. Mm-hmm. Right. It is a hard business. The turnover rate, or I think the failure rate, is 85% in the first 2 years. That's really high. It's probably most commission-based industries, whether it's solar or mortgages or, roofing sales, like whatever it is. I'm sure the turnover rate is really high in anything that's 100% commission. But do you felt like it got easy quick? No? How long did it take you to find that stride?
I feel like I didn't find my stride until I was like a year and a half, 2 years in. And it's funny that you say about quit, because I was a year and a half into real estate, and I actually did quit for 4 days. I got a regular job, super respectable, 9 to 5, making what I thought was good money. And I got there and I was like, fuck this. If I just try this hard at real estate, and if all these other people can do it, there's no reason I can't do it. And that was when it switched and things started to go my way.
Where did you feel like it started to get easy for you with the consumer, right? Like, we talk about, agents all the time, but at the end of the day, it becomes easy when we start to help the consumer at a higher level.
Yeah.
That is something that I've found. If you can do it at a higher level than anybody else, consumers are going to be attracted to you. The referral changes from, oh yeah, you should use Katie, to no, you got to use Katie because you are not going to have better representation than her. Oh, by the way, she's also awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people want to work with people they like and people they trust. At what point did you really find your groove on, like, okay, like, I'm helping people with awesome customer service, even though I'm a new agent and I don't know too much, but I'm persistent and the customer service, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to help this person. And I'm just going to be resourceful to, I'm walking into every situation and I know I'm going to help that person at the highest level. And, it's more of like you're welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Client, that you have a good agent, and not just a good agent, but you have one of the best agents in the country helping you, versus the next door neighbor, Susie or Sally, who works part-time real estate that does 3 transactions a year and has this commission breath. Right? Like, at what point did you find that to start to switch to, I'm helping these people at a higher level than most?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. Like, my first thought is that probably 3 months into paying for my own Zillow leads is when I really started to feel that, because I was having so much success with it and people were really drawn to what I had to say. So I feel like once I came back from quitting for 4 days, I was like, I'm going to be an expert. So I just started studying and like listening to everything, every expert that I possibly could. I tried to internalize what they say, and then I applied that to Zillow. So about 3 months into Zillow, I had 7 deals under contract at one time, and I was spending very little. And my rep was like, this is amazing. So I think at that point is where I was making deals happen for clients, and I had enough going on that I felt like I could really advise people in the right way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Of course it makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course I get it. We've shared these stories,
yeah.
Right? Like, I would say, for me, it was probably that 12 months in where I'm like, oh wow, we're getting this. Like this is something that is clicking for me now. Granted, I was luckier than almost anybody on the planet when it comes to finding that mentor. I had that person that had been doing it for 45 years and sold over $1 billion individually worth of real estate, which is a lot considering 45 years from 2013 back. Imagine where prices were, right? He'd done over 5,000 transactions himself, and he had been a builder, he had been a developer, he had been a landlord, a slumlord, and all these, like, anything you can think of for real estate encyclopedia, that's what I got. I was attached to his hip, and oh my gosh, did I soak it up. Like, not only did he give me the knowledge, but he gave me the work ethic. He gave me that mindset of always trying to master your craft, be a student of the game. Like, that's one piece that I do find agents lacking. Maybe not necessarily because of their own, like, it's not like they turn their head towards it, but they don't necessarily have the direction of, and somebody helping them and guiding them. Hey, always have the mindset of getting better, right? If you're not getting better, you're probably getting worse, right? And things change in real estate all the time. Markets change all the time. You got to be on top of it. Rates change all the time. Construction changes all the time. Contracts change all the time. Like, these are things that we have to be a student of the game if we want to be in that 1% of agents, and which we are, actually. Believe it or not. I don't know if you saw on the wall when you first got here, but, top 1% in America, we were able to earn that. And I'm really excited because this month, another award comes out for this past year that, we'll announce at a later date. But, where do you find yourself? Like, I know you're a student of the game, just based on all our conversations, but what do you find yourself focusing on to always get better? Like, you have that mindset, like that, we vibe on that level, right? Like, where do you find yourself looking to always get better?
Excuse me. I would say a couple things that I do to make sure I'm always getting better is, like, for one, I listen to audiobooks of other people who are operating at a higher level than me. And I know we kind of talked about some tips and tricks I have with that. There's some cool apps that will shorten books to the main points and give you the summaries. And that puts me on an entrepreneurial high, honestly, listening to those types of things and just staying motivated. Also through Instagram, there's a lot of learning as far as technology. So there's a lot of people who will use AI and use different systems and different mastermind groups. That keeps a lot of fresh ideas flowing, right? So I get a lot of that from mastermind groups and actually real estate coaching. So one of my previous business partners informed me about this coaching program, and I signed up for that, and it was like a plug and play system, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's lots of things out there that work. And by paying to have somebody coach you, right? If you don't just naturally have a mentor, then you got to pay to play, right? If you want somebody's knowledge, you got to sometimes make an investment in yourself in a course. And I'm constantly paying for stuff like that.
I think I made quite the investment. Agents out there will get the word splits.
Yeah.
But I had the worst splits on the planet for 3.5 years. If I ever offered those types of splits to any agent ever for that long of a time, I mean, it would just, I'd be sitting here by myself. But
it's the worst I've heard.
It is. But I've also told you I would do it again.
Yeah.
Right? Because now I know what it did for me. So that was that initial investment. I think what agents forget is they are building businesses and they are building themselves to be better agents, or at least they should be. And, those are the agents that clients should be looking for, the agents that are constantly trying to get better, that are doing it full time, that are trying to master their craft. But man, I worked on the worst splits possible. Yeah. Right. And, but I would do it again. I got the best training in the world. And, now we're in a place where I get to pass it on down and have that hands-on mentorship that we find so rare. Like, you came here and one of the things as you're in these leadership groups and we're talking in these meetings, what are the things that you said about it, as far as the training goes?
Oh, the training here is something I've definitely never seen as far as how hands-on it is and how much accountability the trainers and mentors take on themselves to make the newer teammates successful. Yeah. It's so involved, and they really take so much pride in the time commitment that they spend. I've honestly never seen it. And I've personally trained people, and I didn't commit that kind of time. Literally, they go above and beyond for the people on your team, and that has been a really cool thing to see.
Our team. The team. I'm going to continue to push that on you. I said it to you on the phone the other day. Right? And so I'm going to continue to push that. And I don't just say that with you, just because of what we're trying to accomplish together, but I say it with even the agents. Hey, this is our team. This is what we do. We do this together. It's not a team if it's just one person, right? That's why it's not the Keegan group. That's why it's not, Siegfried and Associates. It is a Paramount home group. It is something that it's for everybody, and then, everybody gets to brand themselves underneath it. And so I'm going to continue to remind you of that.
You're going to have to.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. You'll get it at one point, right? Sometimes it takes repetitiveness to really stick. But it's funny that you mentioned the training portion that you've never seen before. Mm-hmm. Me neither, outside of what I got. Yeah. I tell people all the time, I search for higher level training. I look for it. I look to add little nuggets here and there. I go to these masterminds with brokerages and other teams, not just locally, not just in the state, but around the country. That is something that I continue to try to be a student of the game and master my craft even better, so that way we can pass it on down to the agents even better, right? Mm-hmm. That's something that motivates me. It's something that inspires me. It's something that provides me satisfaction. And, I really want to make sure that we continue to do that. And these mentors that you're talking about, they were personally mentored by me. They were attached to my hip at one point. And, I'm going to read something here in a second, but it's something where it's, we continue to pass this down. I am so sick of watching consumers being guided by agents that maybe it's not their fault that they don't know what they're doing, but they don't have the agents that are guiding them. They don't have the direction from anybody else. Mm-hmm. So in turn, the consumer is at a disadvantage.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
There are a few agents out there when these newer agents or these agents that don't have a lot of experience or aren't trying to master their craft, they come across them, they're sharks, and they know that those agents are going to be protecting their clients at the highest level, which in turn means that these newer agents or these less experienced agents or these agents that aren't mastering their craft on a consistent basis, they're doing their clients a disservice because they don't know how to protect them. They don't know how to get them the best price, terms, conditions possible, not just on the real estate side, but the financing side as well. That's something I rarely see is anybody teaching the financing side. Typically it's, hey, talk to my lender to get a pre-approval, where here, I want agents to know exactly how to look at a pre-approval, exactly how to look at a good faith estimate and compare each and help guide that client on a better path so that they can make the best decision possible. Because at the end of the day, LOs or loan officers are just like realtors. They're a dime a dozen and most of them suck, right? I got to protect my clients from potentially working with a bad LO. Yeah. I got to protect my realtors from potentially working with a bad LO. I got to protect the clients that the realtors are working with by training the realtors at a higher level than anywhere else in the industry. So, we talked about why. That is my why. I want to help more consumers by helping more agents do it at a higher level than anyone else in the industry. That's it.
I feel that. Just coming here and seeing how the meetings are and the process, it's definitely streamlined for that to get people there.
I want to shift a little bit to, we talked about Paramount Home Group. I want to talk a little bit about LPT, right? Yeah. So that is a major piece of what we do here. It is a major value prop of Paramount Home Group and everybody that's involved underneath the umbrella to continue on a path of more success, not just for themselves, but for their clients, right? Sell homes at a higher price, get better deals for their buyers, sell homes quicker with a smoother process than most, and where the client is continuing to walk away with that wow experience, where in turn we get more referrals, more business, right? Yeah. LPT is a major part of that, and that's something that was a major decision for me. And you are a very, very intelligent woman, and I know that you did not make this move across the country without thinking, okay, yes, that team seems good, but where does that team go under? What is that brokerage that they partnered with? And you did, and I know you did that research, and we talked about the value props of it, way beforehand, before you made the commitment. Yeah. And, I was very upfront with you. I gave you all the good, I gave you the little bit of bad that there is, which is, I don't know, but they got to pay $5,500 a year. That might be it,
pretty standard,
pretty standard. That's probably better than most, right?
Yeah. That to me is a plus.
Yeah, it's a plus, right? We're at, agents at Keller, on their best days, they're paying $16,000, $17,000 for, we don't need to say it, but but yeah, so as you were doing this research, what are the things that you found that really helped solidify the decision?
With LPT?
Yeah, because we are part of LPT, and I know you looked into it. It's not like you get one without the other, right? So what are those things that really help solidify that decision that Paramount Home Group is a part of LPT and that's where you want to be?
Yeah, so I think there was a couple things just right off the bat that I noticed. And first of all, that's how involved RP, as you call him, is with you guys. I think that involvement from the top is really awesome. The partnership that he gives to you as a team leader and to everybody else is really impressive. I think LPT, there's a lot of, potential, right? We've seen kind of this model, if it's fair, to compare it to EXP.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. But even better, right? The opportunity, we know this model works, and it's time, I feel to have a competitor with EXP in LPT. And I'm seeing it explode at a way faster rate than even EXP did at the beginning. Some of the other stuff that I really love is, the Power Box? Yeah. Is that what it's called? Yep. The Power Box. That's stuff that I was manually trying to put together for my own listings, and it's free. Yeah. Right? So those boxes for all of our listings with tons of marketing material that looks way better and anything I can accomplish on Canva, right, that's free with every single listing, it's also an accountability piece. Like, yep, I'm going to include this as part of my marketing package with every listing. There's no excuse.
Yeah, you get to show up to a listing presentation saying, hey, like, just an added benefit, not to say like this is why, but like sellers love that. Like, you're showing up with extra value and it's free to the agent, right? But it's not
a value add.
It's a value add, right? Exactly. What else?
Yeah, so I think that there is just an option for everybody with LPT. You know, whether you're a solo agent, a team leader, on a team, you know, there's lots of different paths for everybody and whatever their comfortability is, right? So is like very small commission, or I don't commission splits or brokerage splits. Or you can do the stock options and have the opportunity for downline and rev share. And, you know, I think from that end, the structure looks super solid and that there is a clear path. You know, if you want to build your team and build it, you know, in that structure, there's a lot of opportunity with LPT.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned a comparison to EXP. The way that I describe it is EXP 2.0, but better.
Yeah.
Right? And what I see from agents joining EXP now, they're joining 6 years too late, right? And what I want to make everybody aware of is you're joining too late. Everybody wishes they would have bought Apple stock back then, right? Way back then. Well, everybody wishes they would have joined EXP when they were only 4,000 agents, right? And now they're at 88,000. So the people that are joining, if you want to take advantage of the value prop that they have, which is their downline and stock play, well, guess what? The downline, completely saturated. If you try to pitch any agent on EXP, what is the value prop? Because everybody else has already gotten the pitch. So good luck creating any sort of real downline for yourself. And then on the stock play, they're already public. We've seen them go all the way up to 77, and man, they went back down to the last time I checked was like 11 or 12, right? Like, oh man, like you were putting 5% of your check in at 77. You know, and again, I get it's a timing thing, but we're not even public yet. You know, I know that's a goal of ours with LPT is we will be going public. We're only in 7 states right now. We're not even in all 50, and we're at 4,000 agents in what, like 18 months or something really short like that.
That's
like
huge growth.
When I was researching this and I was at KW, I knew I was leaving. I was looking for 2 years, and I knew I absolutely knew that I was going to be leaving, but I wanted to make sure that it was the right move for my agents, right? Everything we do is
so important.
Yeah, everything we do has to be in the best interest of the agents. And as I was looking at the other brokerage models out there, and then this came across, and I'm like, you know, I've been being pitched on EXP, and I just didn't get that warm and fuzzy vibe. And then LPT came along, and I'm like, whoa, what an opportunity.
And I was going to say that too. It's so funny because I remember hearing this a long time ago, and it's like you look back, right, and you can see the opportunity in some of these other models. But in the moment, it feels like a risk. Every opportunity in the moment feels like a risk.
It's true in any business, right?
Right. So I think, and not that this is risky, like it's totally makes sense to me, and there's nothing but opportunity here. But anytime somebody changes their brokerage, it feels risky, right? Because it's like, all right, you're going to have some downtime. There's extra added responsibility. You got to make sure everybody's happy and on board. And I know that is a struggle to do, but how worth it and how much, you know, room for growth and opportunity that everybody can jump on.
Yeah, I agree. I love the room for opportunity and growth. And man, I'm excited to see it in 6 months and 2 years. Like I haven't even been trying to take advantage of some of their options like downline and things like that. But man, it's absolutely, you know, becoming organic. Like now, like people start to say like, whoa, hey, why did you do that? Right. And then it's like, well, I'm not doing it for downline. Right? You can do it for downline. There's people that have made money doing it for downline. You know, there are people that have made money doing it for the stock play. But think about the big players that are coming from different brokerages, whether it's EXP or Keller or Compass, and you know, and they're coming over here. They're big players, right? these are smart people.
Yeah.
These are very, very highly intelligent people, and they are motivated to continue to grow this. And that group of highly motivated, successful people, they make everybody better by being together. And we saw that at EXP. And I think what has happened, in my personal opinion, is the people over there, they've been doing it for so long, and most of them aren't even practicing real estate anymore. So it's hard to give real estate advice when you're spending over 6 months of your career or 6 months of your year in Puerto Rico away from your team just for tax benefits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
I don't mind calling people out. I like pushing buttons. I don't mind that. I'm not going to go the whole Dylan Brooks route and say poke the bear. Basketball fans will understand that. You're looking at me like, dude, what are you talking about?
I'm like, yep.
Yeah. If your husband was here, I know he'd be like, oh, dude, what a great one, right? Lastly, I wanted to read this, right? And this is something that is very, very, very valuable as I continue to read it. I've read this probably 30 times, and every single time I self-evaluate, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to just listen to it. It's going to be a little long-winded. It's probably going to be about 2 minutes, but it's amateurs versus professionals. And I'm just going to go down this list. Amateurs stop when they achieve something. Professionals understand that the initial achievement is just the beginning. Amateurs have a goal. Professionals have a process. Amateurs think they are good at everything. Professionals understand their circles of competence. Amateurs see feedback and coaching as someone criticizing them as a person. Professionals know they have weak spots and seek out thoughtful criticism. Amateurs value isolated performance. Think about the receiver who catches the ball once on a difficult throw. Professionals value consistency. Can I catch the ball in the same situation 9 times out of 10? Amateurs give up at the first sign of trouble and assume their failures. Professionals see failure as the part of the path to growth and mastery. Amateurs don't have any idea what improves the odds of achieving good outcomes. Professionals do. Amateurs show up to practice to have fun. Professionals realize that what happens in practice happens in games. Amateurs focus on identifying their weaknesses and improving them. Professionals focus on their strengths and on finding people who are strong where they are weak. Wink, wink. Amateurs react. Professionals prepare. Amateurs think knowledge is power. Professionals pass on wisdom and advice. I like that one a lot. Amateurs focus on being right. Professionals focus on getting the best outcome. Amateurs focus on first-level thinking. Professionals focus on second-order thinking. Amateurs think good outcomes are the result of their brilliance. Professionals understand when good outcomes are the result of luck. Amateurs focus on the short term. Professionals focus on the long term. Amateurs focus on tearing other people down. Professionals focus on making everyone better. Amateurs make decisions in committees, so there is no one person responsible if things go wrong. Professionals make decisions as individuals and accept responsibility. Amateurs blame others. Professionals accept responsibility. Amateurs show up inconsistently. Professionals show up every day. Amateurs go faster. Professionals go further. Amateurs go with the first idea that comes into their head. Professionals realize the first idea is rarely the best idea. Amateurs think in ways that can't be invalidated. Professionals don't. Amateurs think in absolutes. Professionals think in probabilities. Amateurs think the probability of them having the best idea is high. Professionals know the probability of that is low. Amateurs think reality is what they want to see. Professionals know reality is what's true. Amateurs think disagreements are threats. Professionals see them as an opportunity to learn. I know that was long-winded, but I continue to read this, and every single time I'm self-evaluating.
Yeah.
Okay, where am I an amateur? Where do I need to improve upon? And the more I read this, the more I do feel like a professional, but what are the few things that stand out to you?
I would say one of the ones that really stood out to me is amateurs focus on a goal and professionals focus on the process.
Yeah.
And I feel like that has been a journey for me, right? I used to be, okay, I have this goal. If I do this, this, and this, I'm going to hit my goal. And then it's somewhere along the line, it changed to, if I just make a process, all I have to do is turn a little knob here if I want more. And then can my process handle this many leads? And it just shifted from, I have to hit my goal to what is my customer experience? And if the process is amazing, more business will come.
Yeah, you're right.
What about you?
I'm going to go on the advice piece. Amateurs think knowledge is power. Professionals pass on wisdom and advice. Like, kind of talked about it with my why.
Yeah.
Like, I want to pass it down. Like, that's one that really sticks with me because very few people out there really want to pass it down. I see too many people just want to keep it for themselves because they know it's like their value. Like, no, dude, like, I'm trying to change the industry with better training and better mentorship. Like, people deserve a better experience in buying and selling and investing, and we need to give it to them. And I'm going to be a part of that process and getting agents to be able to give that. So, well, listen, dude, we got to wrap up, but I really appreciate you being on the show, and I'll see you guys next time on Higher Level Real Estate. Oh.
Boom.
35.
How'd you feel?
Good.
That shit went quick, didn't
How
it?
do you feel?
I'm sweating.
I know, me too. I'm literally like.
Can we get like if